Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm joined now by Yolanda Marshall. Hello, Yolanda Marshall. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good to have you. You're an author. You brought a whole library
I know.
in your lap right there. Are these the books you've written so far?
So I do have a collection of over 20 children's books, most of which celebrate our Caribbean culture. And I'm so happy to be at CARIFESTA where I'll be reading my books in the literary arts section. And I do have a brand new book I'd love to showcase. But yeah, lots of children's books and a lot of it celebrating Caribbean culture.
Why do you write for children specifically?
Yes. Well, I started writing for children after the birth of my son because living in Canada, we have a lot of books and a lot of showcasing American culture for a young black child. But my child is born in Canada and is of African and Caribbean heritage.
Yes.
Like we do not eat cookies and milk at Christmas time.
That's right.
We eat black cake.
Correct, that's right. And sweet bread and all of those things.
And all
yes.
these things. So I started writing books like this for him so that he can be seen and feel celebrated and learn about his culture. And, I enjoy it because these are the books that I didn't have growing up in a Caribbean nation where the foods that I ate, the music that I listened to and loved to dance to was celebrated in picture books. So it's a way of celebrating my inner child as well.
You're doing it well. Are the characters
Yes.
Caribbean characters?
So here's the thing, the characters in my book, you'll find it will relate to the diaspora. So
Okay.
mainly characters of kids who are born in the Caribbean nation and migrated, or kids who were born to Caribbean parents
Right.
throughout the diaspora, because globally there are millions of us, and these are the children that we are fighting to feel seen in literature.
The language of the writing, is it also in dialect or is it just in standard English?
Sometimes. So I have this book called Miles Away in the Caribbean, and
Yes.
Miles end up in Jamaican. What's the first thing he's going to say? Jamaica,
Jamaica.
Madea. So I do incorporate it as much as I
Yes.
can. Now I do write, of course, in the standard English because my books are there to teach kids to read as well, especially coming from Toronto. We do have a lot of kids who are learning to read or having a really tough time. So the goal is to give them a story they can relate to that will encourage them to pick it up and learn reading skills. Yeah.
And have you seen that kind of response that you're looking for?
Oh yes, oh yes. A lot of my stories have the call response. I do read for many schools, like I would say over 30,000 students every year within Canada and in New York State, because I do get called out there to read. But there are a lot of kids who love my books. Parents always tell me the child can't stop asking to read it over and over again. But that one of the things that I find that elementary school teachers are doing is using the book to read, to teach these kids how sing along. But it does help, and I do have poetry as well. So if you teach a child a nice rhythm and a rhyming, and they just continue with it, and they can anticipate the next word. But it does help.
So you've written one for Christmas. Have you written one for every season of a person's life?
I've covered the holidays. I have hot cross buns for everyone.
Yes.
Where we have spiced bun and cheese, I cornered the holidays because I'm a holiday person. This is an award-winning book, My Soca Birthday Party with Jollof Rice and Steel Pans. And this book is where kids from the African diaspora and Caribbean diaspora feel seen. So a child in Trinidad eats pilau, and a
Yes.
child in Tanzania is pilau. And they realize it's the same thing.
Yes.
One in Kenya is eating chapati, and of course we eat roti. But of course they're variants of the roti from the Indo-Caribbean
Right.
community. So I really try to highlight as much as I can and just, birthdays, for example.
And does that, but My Soca
Yes.
Birthday Party also highlights the music?
Yes, it does.
Good.
So in this book, I will be reading it tomorrow at the Youth Village for CARIFESTA Story Time. And the kids, when he ate something very hot, what song you thought they thought he was
Hot,
playing?
hot, hot.
Feeling hot, hot. You see
There
that?
you go, Arrow.
Oh, I love her culture. Look at that. It is true. So his
Yes.
friends thought he was like hot, hot, hot. Friends out at the feeling hot, hot, hot. So yes, it does have songs in here.
Yes,
And then you
yes.
have a character who also teaches the kids how to dance the chutney soca.
Nice.
Because it's also an underrepresented community that we have. So we have what's in the cookie tin? What do you think's in the cookie tin?
Listen, you know, there was a nursery rhyme we did. Who stole the cookie from the cookie
Cookie
jar?
jar. Yeah, I
Number
know.
one. What's in the
What?
cookie tin? What's in the cookie tin?
So what's in the cookie tin? It's a universal, I would say, trauma. Because my first encounter with the cookie tin was not cookies.
Yes.
And growing up in the Caribbean, you smell a tin and it smelled like cookies. And I'm so happy because I know the barrel brought the tin. But when you open it up, someone sent an empty tin
Yes.
to store stuff in. So
Yes.
there were like needles and threads in the cookie tin. But in this book, Olivia and Benjamin got a chance to, break this cycle. So they actually got cookies, but it's with the help of their grandpa. So it's a really nice book to introduce kids to the cookie tin, but also highlight this story we can all relate to.
And an intergenerational exchange as well,
Yes.
grandfather to grandchildren, and perhaps to get them to try their skills in the kitchen, I suppose, right?
Exactly, because my books do have recipes. We
Oh.
have Piece of Black Cake for Santa has black cake. My Soca birthday party with jollof rice has jollof rice.
Nice.
This book has a cookie recipe, which is great because if your cookie tin
look at
doesn't
that,
have
yes.
cookies, then you can just make your own, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
And then you carry on that whole process of keeping the tin and storing it. But I really do try to teach about food and include our grandparents and give knowledge, pass it down to kids.
Values.
Values.
And I think it's so
Yes.
important to be able to capture those values in a way that children understand. And that's what
Yes.
you've done in your series of books.
Yes.
The next one,
So this is quite new. This was in June, and I came out with big birthday wishes. So unlike my Soca birthday party, this book is where the imagination is so free. You have 7 friends who all have the same birthday, but you have a big party that's set in Fitz Village. Now, why did I choose Fitz Village?
Yes, why?
Well, as a Caribbean writer, I was born in Guyana, but I have Bayesian heritage. My grandfather was born in Fitz Village, St.
Right.
James. So I do incorporate a lot of like cities and towns from
Yes,
different
yes.
parts of the Caribbean. Now, these kids make big wishes, like all kids would. If I tell a child make a wish, I want unlimited ice
Of
cream.
course.
I want all the cherries in the world.
Again, of course.
I want big muscles. I want superpower. Of course, it's a bit too much for them
Yes.
to handle,
Yes.
and it created a lot of chaos. But what I love about this book, as I mentioned with the call response in here, and this is quite a diverse story for everyone, but the called response in this book is to have kids repeat the words. One second, let me get to just a random page. There it is.
Right.
So, every time I say big or I put my hands, the kids will go big and poof.
I get you.
And slurp, slurp, slurp.
Yes.
But get them into reading
Language
and
skills.
enjoying
And
it.
language skills as well.
Yes, big
Wow.
time. And this is fun. Once again, use your imagination, write the stories. I encourage them to write as well. No story is stupid.
Yep. You said you're here for CARIFESTA and you're reading as well, right?
Yes,
When
I am.
is your next reading?
I will be reading tomorrow from 11 to between 11 and 1 p.m.
Right,
at the
where?
Youth Village.
At the Youth
Yes.
Village. That's at the Barbados Community College.
Yes, I will
the
be there.
Barbados Community College.
And growth, where a young girl moved to the Caribbean and she found all the trees were dead in the winter. Of course, she's from a tropical place.
Yeah.
But there's a very familiar song she sang while trying to understand how we go. There's a brown girl in the ring, tra la 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 la. But in her stance, she message in there for kids who are from the Caribbean who migrate to a cold country is we will adapt and we will grow.
Wow.
And I'm one of those kids.
While you're at CARIFESTA, can folks, as they come see you, also have access to purchase these books?
Yes, of course.
Good.
They're in the bookstore here. And you can have access to all my books. They're here.
Wonderful. Yolanda Marshall. She's
Thank
not even
you.
Bajan, but her father is. And so we thank you so much for sharing all that you've been able to create, because you're helping children be children.
Yes.
But be children in a positive way.
Yes.
Reminding them the values that are required of them as they grow, as young people, but also creating an opportunity for intergenerational conversation as well. Well done, thou
Thank
good and
you.
faithful servant.
Thank
so
you.
don't forget, at the Youth Village, starting tomorrow, come and hear from 11 o'clock in the morning Yolanda Marshall and her books. And she will read a little bit. You'll get to purchase some of her books from the library here for CARIFESTA. And remember, it is a goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very
today.
much.
You're welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.